This is DJ 745 for World of Reggae here at the Bloom Café in Irish Town. Sitting beside me is a very, very talented singer, a songwriter and a documentary filmmaker, Zia Benjamin. Welcome to the viewers here of World of Reggae.
So awesome. So really happy to be here sitting with you up in this beautiful spot in the mountains. What a blessing, right?
Of course. I mean, I'm blown away by the views, and I hear that the food here is so good as well. So
the food here is so good, and the juice and just the vibes, like coming up here, it's like meditation, just being up here. Yeah, man. That's why I had to bring you guys up here, you know? Thank me later. It's cool.
No, we give thanks because I think that on our travels here in Jamaica, it's always nice to reach out to new spots, and this is certainly going to be a place that we're going to be coming back to sample the food at the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were just up here filming a video for Jesse Royal and Protege Lion Ordo, big up Jason Panton, Alpha Lion, and I just loved the spot and had to come back here. So when you said, let's go to the mountains, I was like, I know where. I'm in. Get to go back to Bloom. Mm-hmm.
I mean, for myself, I first became aware of some of your works maybe about 2 years ago through Rory, but we're going to touch into that later on. But how would you yourself describe your sound?
I describe it as rum shot blues.
Okay.
So kind of like in Jamaica, if you pull over to like a rum bar on the side of the road, like what do you hear? You hear like, retro dancehall or reggae, or some of the new stuff. And then if you go to a jazz bar in like maybe the 1950s, what would you hear? I think that kind of smoky, sultry, but edgy with a little dancehall bad girl from Jamaica side of it, Yeah, a mix.
A mix.
Yeah, it's like Marilyn Monroe mixed with Shabba Ranks.
What a combination that would have been, right? Marilyn Monroe and Shabba.
I think they would have gotten along, to be honest. I think they love each other. Marilyn is fully an undiscovered Rudie. And definitely a lot smarter than they make her seem. True. Girls always get it, like that. Like they always make you look like just because you're pretty, you're not that smart. But we'll fix it. I got you, Marilyn. Don't worry. I know.
You had a single that dropped into my inbox probably a week before Christmas. I was totally blown away by it. Yeah, it was kind of like, Rory did good for all the DJs because he just dropped, I think, 5 or 6 different singles all in one package.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. That's a new name for Rory.
Rasta Santa. Black Dub Santa.
The thing that really sort of grabbed me to that single that we're talking about here, which is called Neverman, the keys and the horns at the start. What you just said a minute ago about, your sound kind of having like this really kind of vintage vibe. It's like your voice is kind of made for that kind of thing.
Thank you. It actually took me a long time to find producers who wanted to listen to me when I said that I want to do that kind of vintage vibe, because that's not necessarily what was playing on the radio and still isn't like super actively playing. But I just knew this is what I want to sound like. This is what I want to do. So when I walked into Rory's studio, Rory was like, yes, oh my gosh, where are you from? Your voice is insane. So I was like, yes, thank you, And he really pulls the best out of my sound. He's a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist. So we sit there and, record and cuss and argue. He kicks me out of his studio. I walk out of his studio. But then we end up with magic at the end of the day. So it's a great partnership, man.
Yeah.
He's like my big brother.
That song, vocally, what a voice you've got. And, it's like when the vocals kind of drop in, it's just like, boom, that is a hit song.
Thank you. It's so funny because a lot of my songs with Rory have just been very, turn on the mic and see what happens. And those two, especially No Fame and Neverman, definitely that happened with those two. So Neverman, he put on the rhythm, and I was really going through a lot at that time, relationship-wise, and the first thing that came out was, is who you running from? I never got to see you. So I was just like, it just flowed. And I think some of the best songs are like that. I don't believe necessarily that creatives are the ones being creative. I think we're like a funnel, So it's like songs are supposed to be birthed, and they just funnel through us, and that's why they get... they come out so quickly. Especially if you're if you're put in front of a microphone and the song just flows, that's like God writing, you know, or that's like the source writing for you. I'm a huge nerd, guys. Don't get me started.
Okay. I mean, you touched on you being a perfectionist, and Rory, we know, is a perfectionist when it comes to his music and his productions. How did you first get to meet Rory, and how were you introduced to working with him?
Okay. Well, an artist, Kida, a Jamaican boy, she actually said to me, like, there's a producer I really want you to meet, and I'm going to go to his studio now, and I want you to just come with me. This is always a hilarious story. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll come with you. And to be honest, I'd kind of taken a break from music. 2 years before, or a year or so before, I'd done a song with Sean Paul, and the music stuff started going really quickly, like way faster than I was ready for. Like, I was recording and writing for Major Lazer, like within like a very short period of time. I was just doing a lot, and it was also heading in a very like pop EDM direction, which is cool and maybe better for my bank account, but not necessarily where my soul was, you know, feeling my music. So she said, I want to introduce you to this producer. So I'm like, okay, cool. I guess getting back into this music arena. And I walked into the studio, and he was just like, why you bring this little uptown white girl in my studio?
Seriously?
He literally was like, why is she in here? Literally, why is she? Who is she? Why is she in here? Because Rory, if anybody know Rory, he is not afraid to say what's on his mind, for better or for worse.
He'll say it as he sees it.
He will say it in the worst way possible. So he's like, why you bring this little up to a white girl in my studio? And Kido's like mortified. And I looked at him and I was just being feisty. I was just like, because I can sing. Also, I'm mixed, you know. So there you go. I'm allowed into Black Dove Studio. And he's like, so I just started singing. And he's like, wow, okay, yeah, you can stay.
It can't work.
It can't work. He's like, automatically, he's like, all right, I've heard enough. You can stay.
You can stay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing that you worked on? Was it the track No Fame, or was there something before that you first worked on with Rory?
My first song working on with Rory is a song that hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
And it's a song called Dreamland. And it was really funny because I was driving to Rory's spot, and these lyrics just came into my mind, and I actually sat in the parking lot before I went up, and I was just like was vibing these random lyrics that were in my mind. And then as soon as I walked into the studio, he was playing this instrumental, and the lyrics just fit perfectly. Like, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. But we've never finished the song, because I think, honestly, I'm in love with that song, and I think he is too. So we just put too much pressure on it. So maybe it'll come out in like 10 years, but someday it'll come out. Yeah, so it's a beautiful song.
Okay. And then the song on the rhythm that Rory's named the Zine rhythm, the No Fame, that's the first sort of time that I actually heard Zia Benjamin, and I love the whole energy and the vibration behind that rhythm, because you know that rhythm has kind of been like growing in strength for quite a few years. And then Rory put out some other versions, including yours, Raquel Jones, Jessie Royale, Christine Alicia. So yeah, it was a really nice vibration. Now you recorded a video for that as well.
Yes, Rory actually, I didn't know that song was gonna go out. It just went out, and I was like, "What do you mean I have a song on the road?" I was like, "I have a song on the road," and he had released like a freestyle that I like. Basically, the No Fame was like a freestyle. It was just me being really frustrated with the music industry. As I said, it went really quickly, and I kind of got jaded really quickly as well by it. So it was just me singing out about just my experiences in the industry, and I wasn't ready for it to be released, but it was. And but it did well, a lot better than I thought it would. And then he was like, you know, I think it would make a good video. And I was like, no, you really think so? I don't know about this. But then I listened to it, and I thought, you know, it's one of those songs that it has such a story. It's a very, it's something that I could speak in a video to the issues that I faced. And I think that was good, is that I could say, you know, women in the music industry go through this, and it's real. You know, women in the industry face like different problems, and also like juxtaposing me as a child being in love with music to the extent that I would be in a car like writing all over my arms lyrics. Like that's how I was as a child. You know, I was so passionate about music. Lyrics were always just in my mind that I would take I'd write on my bubblegum wrappers. I'd chew up all my bubblegum wrappers and write on my bubblegum wrappers, and when those were finished I'd start writing on my arms, and I'd be covered in ink by the time I got out of the car. My mom was always upset at me, like, what is wrong with you, child? You know, and to have that as a child and that passion, and then to grow up to be a young woman and to have you know, people in the music industry act like it's something frivolous, like that passion and that energy and that soulfulness is just like, you know, some kind of commercial product or something that you should be doing things for to get a bus. Like, please calm yourself. No, dude. You know, like, it's ridiculous what women go through in this industry. So I was vexed. I did just want to show it up. And there's a lot of subliminal messages in that video. I went really, like, it was really for me, you know, down to, like, there's stuff that in that video a lot of people don't notice. Like, there's a part with, where I'm kind of, like, swirling in the video, and there's Cindy Breaks where juxtaposed in the background, and her face is actually made out of pixelated fragments of other girls from a homeless shelter that I worked at, and they took Snapchat. They stole my phone and took a Snapchat filtered selfies of themselves, and I took those pictures really small because I believe in their privacy, but I created Cindy Breakspeare's face with that, and I put that in the background of the video. So there's like a lot, and nobody would really notice that. I just know that it's there. It's there. You know what I mean? So it's just the seen and the unseen, the people who are respected and rated for their beauty and for whatever else, compared to just the girls who need to be respected and need to be rated and need to have that attention that aren't, you know? So, yeah.
Okay. So that video itself, you were responsible for the direction of it, I understand. Yeah,
I co-directed it with a friend of mine, Corey Hamilton.
Okay.
And he's awesome. He's like an amazing person, but he really let me just like go full steam ahead with the random creativity, which was awesome. And I took it back to the Ward Theatre. So when I was a child, I performed there for the Festival of the Arts. It's a Jamaican like music festival. And I remember being so terrified. My entire body shook and like my face was red. And I was so terrified being on that amazing stage where people like Miss Lou and stuff were on this stage. So I was freaking out as a child. So I decided for my first video, I'm going to go back there. And I called the Ward Theatre almost every day till they knew my voice, and they let me film there. And yeah, so it's about reclaiming, in so many ways, No Fame is about reclaiming fear, you know, like surviving fear, surviving people trying to step on you, and just saying, yo, I don't need no fame, but I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna be great.
Right. Okay. So are there any plans for any other videos, like maybe like for Neverman?
Oh my God, Neverman has the most beautiful video. Like I'm so excited about the Neverman video, and it was a lot of pressure because No Fame was so beautiful as a first video, and I was like, why, yo, how am I gonna top this? But I think when it comes from your soul, you'll always top things, you know? So Neverman is just, Jamaica Tourist Board needs to link me, by the way, because it's so beautiful. It's got Portland, it's got Montego Bay, it's got Kingston, we've got the rum bars, the lagoon. It's everything. It's everything. It's all these different parts of Jamaica. It's the dance hall and the reggae and the bad girl and the soulfulness. It's everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really excited about it. And then after that, it's a continuation of a story. So I'm trying to create, I'm a really big nerd, guys, literally. I'm a Virgo. I'm trying to create like a world with my videos, kind of where you're going to see characters come in and out of this world. You're going to see somebody at the edge of a shot, and then maybe a couple videos down the line, you'll see why they were there. Like, I just want budget permitting. Somebody please send me some budget, but that's what I'm trying to accomplish. So the next video is already finished as well for my song Rudie with ZJ Sparks.
That's the forthcoming single, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's awesome, guys. It's very, very different from Never Man. It's not, it's still, my voice is vintage. I can't hide from that, but it's very poppy and reggae and a little bit more rude.
Okay.
It's me being angry. So, and the video is
Awesome.
Is gangster.
Okay. Well, I guess that, to me, music is a bit like a cookbook. So you're going to have many different pages, different recipes. So really, you're just trying to showcase the different talents.
Exactly. And I feel like, lots of people try to like put you in a box so that they can understand where you're coming from. And I understand that. But for me, like, I came from a 9-to-5. I'm not trying to like put myself into another like little cubicle. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to be as creative as absolutely possible. I want to spread my wings. I want to grow and see where this is going to take me, right? So, yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like there's quite a lot of big things happening right now. What are the plans for like the second half of the year then? I know that we're only sort of like in the first few months of 2019, but what's the end goal for this year?
It's always sticky talking about this because honestly, I have so much music recorded, and like last year, I thought that it was going to be like Zia takeover, like lots of music was going to get released, and then it didn't, because sometimes things just don't work, like and that's just life. And I think sometimes when things get held up, it's for a reason. And I learned so much. Last year, I ended up writing for a lot of people, but my music wasn't released, so I had to take the back burner a little bit, but it's fine because I learned a lot. This year now, hopefully by the end of the year, you guys are going to have so much music from me, you're going to be sick of me. I'm just kidding. You're not going to be sick of me because it's awesome. But yeah, I have a lot. I'm working on an EP. I don't have a date for it yet, but I'm really excited about it. It's got like some fire on it, for sure.
So I guess a good way to put it is that there's a lot of new music to come for this year.
Yes.
Focus on you as the artist rather than the songwriter.
For sure.
Okay.
And the songwriter.
You don't want to leave that up because, I mean, sort of like you've done quite a lot of work with people like you mentioned Sean Paul earlier, Major Lazer as well. So, you've done some pretty big things, I would say, in your career.
Yeah, I've written, I wish I could say like some of the names I wrote for last year, but I'm not allowed, but like some really cool people, for sure, that I completely was blown away at even being called for, especially after just releasing one like a video. But I got called for some of the major projects out to Jamaica last year. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to get chosen either, because as a songwriter, like people submit, like I think like a songwriter that I researched last year, he recorded 950 songs and only 5 of them were chosen. That's what songwriter life is really, Wow. So I got asked to record for like, but she also received like 700 songs, so you never know.
Who knows?
At the same time. Exactly. But whatever, like I'm just learning. Everything is a learning curve.
Yeah. I guess everything that you're doing is a learning experience. It's a learning curve. It makes you stronger as a person.
Exactly. Everything that, everything that's painful, everything that you go through, it's always going to make you a stronger person. You can either break from it or you can learn from it. That sounds like a quote from The Lion King. I may have plagiarized The Lion King. There you go.
Well, look, Zia, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting down to learn a little bit more about you as a person and as an artist as well.
Respect.
What message would you give to any females that are watching particularly that are wanting to become an artist? Because, I think you alluded earlier on in the interview that you could have gone down the way of the easy option, as I'm going to call it, going down the straight dancehall route, but that's not what your soul wanted. What advice would you give?
I would say that you have to think, if you're given creativity and you're given a voice, and if you really believe in your voice, you have to understand that this is a gift and a responsibility at the same time. Your responsibility is to be as unique as you possibly can be. your responsibility is to not fit in. Your responsibility is to show the next generation that they can be whoever they want to be. You know, as in ageless, greatness is ageless, right? So chicks, like, seriously, don't let nobody tell you nothing. But just make sure that whatever you're doing is the best. Like, don't come half-hearted and don't think this industry is easy. It's not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not. There's nothing, like, it looks glamorous. There's nothing glamorous about it. You don't sleep. You work 24/8. I can't remember the last time I took a vacation, to be honest. Like, it's not glamorous. It's hard work. It's harder work than a 9-to-5. So I'm just letting you guys know, like, but at the same time, as women, it is our job to raise our voices in every aspect, in every field. We need to balance out the male voice. Just because the male voice is extremely important, and it is all about balance. But when you add the feminine to it, it just completes everything, right? It'll change. I do wholeheartedly believe that adding more female voices to even the radio in Jamaica will heal, you know, a lot of our crime issues, will heal, you know, bring more money into the country economy. Like, it'll heal a lot with just a simple thing like that. So yeah, I know that was long. I'm sorry. Chat enough.
Well, once again, we give thanks for your time, and we're definitely looking forward to these brand new videos and, of course, the forthcoming single Rudie that's coming very, very soon. One love.
Respect. Bless up. Thanks for having me.